up with China's Shandong Kerui group to build the algae biofuels facility in China, the first of its size and kind in the world. Now, Algae.Tec wants to commercialise a technology that uses algae to make sustainable fuels such as biodiesel and green jet fuel. Joining us for more details on this latest joint venture is Roger Stroud, CEO of Algae.Tec. And Roger, a very good afternoon to you. I'm sure I did not pronounce that Chinese company's name correctly, but I'm sure you'll fix that up for me throughout. Just like you to start by explaining the details of this joint venture. I mean, will this deal bring the biofuels facility to completion?
Absolutely, Maura. We're looking at a 250 module facility, and that will be in Dongying, which is in the Yellow River Basin, and that will capture a significant amount of carbon dioxide and produce, as you say, green jet fuel. The intention is that joint ventures will put 50% in each into this particular facility, after which we'll then roll out throughout China, and we've got no doubt that Chinese banks and others will support project financing for all that rollout.
I was just going to ask you about the financing and the capital raising that is required to do this. What's the plan? Obviously, you'll tap into banks, a syndicated loan, capital raising. How are you going to get the cash?
Well, at the moment, we're looking at a small raise, which actually closes today, of $5 million through Patterson's. Over the next couple of months, we will look at raising around about $15 to $20 million, which will be our contribution. In fact, I think it'll be a surplus contribution to what the Kerui group will be putting up, which will be the same number. And from that, we'll go straight into building the plant.
And that also via a syndicated loan from banks, Chinese banks, local banks at all?
No, the first one will be equity. After that, we'll look at, I think, pretty highly leveraged project finance arrangements. There are various mechanisms that will allow it to work. We've just signed a collaboration agreement with Lufthansa, and that's for off-take. And when we can define off-take agreements like that, the project financing should flow pretty easily.
Does the joint venture have the potential to go even further? I mean, is there potential for the partnership to fuel other such projects?
Yes, I mean, as far as the partnership's concerned, we wish to look at significantly larger projects, probably in excess of 1,000 to 2,000 modules per project, maybe even more. And we'll already be looking at a significant number of sites in China, no shortage of carbon dioxide. In other words, what we're trying to do is support the blue skies policy which is being enunciated in China.
I mean, your technology is world class. Give us some sense of how big the potential is for this kind of technology in China.
Well, if we were to complete 100,000 modules, which would take a bit of time, but the Chinese move pretty quickly, that would capture 50 million tonnes of carbon dioxide and provide 25 million tonnes of fuel feed, which is about half a million barrels a day, which the Chinese wouldn't have to import.
This latest news is a continuation of steps forward for Algae.Tec. How close is the company to getting other commercial projects up and running?
We are talking to the Wholesome Group with their Sri Lankan subsidiary, Wholesome Lanka, and we're putting in a small 5-module facility which will grow to 250, probably 1,000 in Sri Lanka. The Wholesome Group is the largest cement emitter in the world, manufacturer in the world, and a significant CO2 emitter, and they're looking at this as the precursor for rollout in over 70 countries where they are.
Well, outside of China, where is the focus? What sort of regions and countries?
US and Australia, because that's where we are. We've got a significant facility in Cumming in Atlanta, Georgia, and obviously Australia, we're listed on the ASX, but the other country we're focusing on is Brazil.
Is there any danger in being spread so thin with facilities spread out like that across various countries?
The biggest danger is I'll burn out with the frequent fire miles, but I think in terms of otherwise, we're very comfortable if we choose sufficiently large companies in these various countries that we will have more than enough infrastructural support. In other words, we're outsourcing all that requirement.
Here at home, I think we spoke to you after news of the demonstration plant in Nara after that was officially opened. It seems almost redundant given the interest the technology is generating around the world. What are the plans for Algae.Tec here in Australia?
Well, as far as the Nara facility is concerned, the train left the station some time ago. That was our defined goal stage through the prospectus, and so we're committed to completing that third-party validation. The fact is that, yes, things have moved much more quickly than we ever anticipated, and I guess for a small company that's always a good thing. So we are talking to other parties about commercial facilities in Australia, and I guess watch this space.
Since listing, how's the share price performed?
Well, we were actually performed extremely well. We were number one or number two best IPO performer for 2011, depending on which paper you read, and that was a 250% increase, 150% increase. So those original investors have been rewarded handsomely.
Absolutely, and watch this space indeed. Roger Stroud, beg your pardon, CEO of Algae.Tec, thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, Maura. All the best.
Rio Tinto has been cleared to take over what could be the world's largest gold and copper mine. Canada's Ivanhoe Mines says it won't use a shareholder rights plan to stop Rio from taking a tilt at the company, which is building the mine in Mongolia. But Rio had already informed Ivanhoe it